Thank you for joining us once again on African Free Press Television. My name is Arit Ifa, bringing to you the news updates at dawn. Following complaints of undue interference by the Department of State Services in the Rivers State election petition before the Election Petition Tribunal, the Senate has summoned the Director General of the DSS, Lawal Daura, to appear before it. The upper chamber said it would want prompt response to invitations and questions raised during the investigation. The Senate had received the petition by the Rivers State House of Assembly, and it was last week referred to the Senate Committee on Ethics and Public Petitions. The committee is chaired by Senator Samuel Anyanwu. 24 hours after the federal government replaced the group managing director of the NNPC, it announced the sacking of all 8 executive directors of the corporation. This was confirmed by the Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, NNPC, Mr. Ohi Alegbe, in a statement on Wednesday night in Abuja. Alegbe said the federal government has approved the retirement of all 8 group executive directors of the NNPC with immediate effects. The Rivers State Governorship Election Petitions Tribunal sitting in Abuja has dismissed 4 out of the 5 petitions filed to challenge the election of Chief Nyesom Wike of the People's Democratic Party as governor of the state. The only surviving petition challenging the declaration of Wike as winner of the April 11 election is the one filed by the All Progressives Congress and its governorship candidate, Dr. Dakuku Peterside. Though one of the 4 petitions was voluntarily withdrawn by the petitioner, Kemka Elenwo, who was COA Party's governorship candidate in the elections, the 3 others were dismissed on technical grounds based on application by Wike and the PDP. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has said any attempt by President Muhammadu Buhari to make former Governor of Rivers State, Rotimi Amaechi, secretary to the government of the Federation or minister would be equal to glorifying corruption. In a statement made available to journalists, the Rivers State chapter of the PDP alleged that Amaechi is corrupt and has stolen from the state in an extreme manner. The statement was made on the heels of Amaechi's recent statement that Buhari is begging him to accept an appointment as Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria or the Secretary to the government. The PDP maintained that any appointment given to Amaechi would expose the president's fight against corruption as anti-people and targeted only at members of the PDP. The Senate on Wednesday passed a resolution summoning the Governor of Central Bank, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, to appear before the lawmakers and brief them on the status of the Naira. In the resolution, which followed a 2-prayer motion by Senator Nassif Suleiman, the Senate also charged the federal government to step up efforts at varying the economy. Senate President Bukola Saraki urged government to focus on other revenue sources like taxes, agriculture, manufacturing, tourism, and solid minerals, noting that although some policies might seem to be badly affecting Nigerians, all citizens should exercise patience. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved actions to fast-track the implementation of the United Nations Environmental Programme report on the environmental restoration of Ogoniland. According to a statement issued by Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, in Abuja on Wednesday, the actions were approved by the President based on recommendations to him by the Executive Director of UNEP, the UNEP Special Representative for Ogoniland, Permanent Secretaries of the Federal Ministries of Environment and Petroleum Resources, and other stakeholders. Hundreds of migrants trying to cross the Mediterranean from Libya are feared to have drowned after their fishing boat overturned off the North African country. Statements by officials suggest that 399 people have been rescued so far and another 25 confirmed dead out of an estimated 600 migrants on the boats. According to Nigeria's National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, about 12,000 Nigerians are being repatriated from neighboring Cameroon. Some of those returning through the Sahuda border post have told reporters that they were being sent home against their will. NEMA had said some of them had sought refuge in Cameroon following attacks by Boko Haram insurgents. There has been a wave of recent attacks in northern Cameroon blamed on Boko Haram, and authorities in Cameroon believe the militants are entering the country disguised as refugees. U.S. President Barack Obama has defended the international nuclear agreement with Iran and warned the U.S. Congress that blocking the pact would spark a war in the Middle East. U.S. President Barack Obama has defended the international nuclear agreement with Iran and warned the U.S. Congress that blocking the pact could spark a war in the Middle East. Obama's speech at the Washington University came after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu launched a campaign on Wednesday to mobilize Jewish Americans to urge the Republican-led Congress to thwart the historic agreement. The Malaysian Prime Minister confirmed on Wednesday that the airplane fragment that washed up on an island last week is a piece of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, the first conclusive physical clue to the greatest mystery in modern aviation. The fragment, a 6-foot-long barnacle-encrusted wing flap, was discovered on July 29 by a crew cleaning the beach on Reunion Island, a French territory in the Indian Ocean off the southern tip of Africa. For more news, please visit www.africanfreepress.com. Follow at African Free Press on Twitter and like African Free Press on Facebook. My name is Arit Ifa. Good morning, Africa.